Reeta is here. As we bring Reeta in, I'll tell you it's unfortunate that Eric Bieniemy felt like for his best opportunity to become a head coach, he has to leave a place where he won 2 championships. He's got the best player in the NFL on his roster. He's in meetings with that quarterback every day. That quarterback has said wonderful things about Eric Bieniemy. Andy Reid, the head coach, has said wonderful things about Eric Bieniemy, and yet he's got to go from the best franchise to the worst franchise just to get a gig. Hey, Reeta, I know, and maybe we can do an update of A Tale of Two Cities. This is A Tale of Two Cities 2023 version, Kansas City and Washington, a tale of 2 franchises, and a tale of one man, who can't really seem to catch a break, and all I hear about it is excuses and whatabouts and, well, maybes and all this stuff. How do you see this happening? Because how do you see this unfolding? Because I just I look at it and I'm disgusted.
I mean, I just think it's going to unfold the way it's always unfolded. I don't see anything changing. And I mean, you're right. We've heard so many excuses about why he's not a head coach. Oh, he doesn't interview well. Oh, he's had past issues, as if every coordinator or person that has been qualified to get a job has had the perfect interview or had the perfect record by any means. So I find it very interesting that he has to leave from under the shadow of Andy Reid, because I love the parallel of saying sous chef, because I mean, he does all the preparation. So we're just going to act like that person isn't important because they don't go and cook it on the grill. I think that that's really a messed up thing to think. And now you have to prove yourself and go to the franchise, who right now is potentially changing ownership because the owner allegedly had some misconduct issues. His staff has had misconduct issues, sexual misconduct issues. So it's really sad that we've gotten to this point, but I also understand why he's doing it. He's going to try to say, see here, I can do this without Andy Reid. And unfortunately for him, it's going to have to be using Sam Howell potentially as quarterback for the Commanders. I mean, it's a joke, right?
Come on, Reeta. Reeta, listen. If he thinks he can do it without Andy Reid, that's problematic too, because nobody has had to say that before. Most of the time when you're on the staff of a Hall of Fame coach, that's like that association that rubs off on you, and that gets you your promotion. You don't have to apologize. Nobody has apologized. Doug Peterson is not apologizing from getting his start under Andy Reid. Josh McDaniels is not apologizing, getting his start under Bill Belichick. You know how many paychecks Bill Belichick has gotten people over the years since 2003? I mean, all these guys, you shouldn't have to go to the lowest situation, because let me tell you, that's not the path. That's not the path to getting a head coaching position. That's the harder path.
Right. And it's funny because, look, John Harbaugh is a great example. He was Andy Reid's special teams coach, right? Wasn't a coordinator. I mean, unless you consider coordinator, but I'm talking one of the main 2, right? Offensive or defensive coordinator. He got a job. So why can't Eric Bieniemy get a job? And the NFL tries to act like that they're doing so much better with diversity, and it's bull. You try to add in, we'll give you some compensatory picks if you hire more minority coaches, and that hasn't changed. That hasn't moved any kind of needles, as you can see when it comes to that, because you already mentioned Byron Leftwich is another guy. Why haven't we had that conversation about him either? The Bucks won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Why wasn't he a guy that we considered to be a head coaching candidate? And so, we have to say, oh, DeMeco Ryans is the coach. Okay, well, he also went to a horrible organization in the Houston Texans. And of course, we know that he has ties there. So we understand the reason why he probably went back there. He played there. His wife is from there. But ultimately, they're one of the worst franchises in the NFL. They fired 2 black head coaches in back-to-back seasons. So I don't know what.
One and done, right? Both of them.
Twice. One and done 2 times. So what else does Bieniemy have to do? I mean, I hope for him this offense, and again, I mean, they have a couple of guys. They got some running backs. Of course, they got some good wide receivers there, but their quarterback situation is a huge question mark. We have no idea what they're going to be looking like from a quarterback perspective, and we're asking Eric Bieniemy to be like, yeah, and make sure that this offense is going to be a top offense in the league so we can try to give you a head coaching job. It's just ridiculous. It's sad.
You know, as I look at this thing, I really wonder I do wonder what's going to happen with Bieniemy. I do wonder. Maybe he's just decided, all right, it's not going to happen for me. I'm going to get as much money as I can as taking a lateral position, and just show that I've got coaching chops outside of Kansas City. I want to call plays. You know, Andy's not going to let me call plays. He likes it. You know, he ain't giving it up. So I just want to call plays, make a bunch of money. I know nobody's going to hire me as a head coach. So I'm just going to do what I want to do. And I do want to point out also, in the interest of, here's our word again, fairness. In the interest of fairness, I want to point out that Eric Bieniemy was a handful in his 20s. He sure was. He was a handful. Late teens, early 20s. He had some incidents. You know, there was a bar fight out in Boulder. One of his teammates threw somebody against the wall. That's the headline. One of his teammates threw somebody against the wall. Now, the teammate, you dig a little deeper, the teammate was upset. Somebody hit Eric Bieniemy with the N-bomb. It was the ER, not the A. Okay, hit him with the N-bomb in a bar. So he had to throw him against the wall. There was another incident that really, it's a little crazy. Now, Eric was in the league at this time. He was in his early 20s. Went up behind a parking lot attendant, you know, put his arm around her neck and whispered some crazy stuff into her ear. And then eventually 4 or 5 of his friends are pulling down their pants and urinating in public. So that was in his 20s. It was bad.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to excuse it.
Right.
That was a long time ago. And
yeah.
if we're going to start focusing on these issues with Eric Bieniemy, to be fair, let's look at every candidate who's hired and let's do a deep dive, because I never hear it. I don't know, and maybe we're at fault. Maybe we're at fault, Reeta. I don't know anything about any 20 years ago. I don't know any personal detail about any of the candidates who were hired in the last 2 cycles. Like deep. No, I'm just like, hey, they hired that guy. Oh, he's an offensive guy, defensive guy, coordinator. I don't know any details. But when Eric Bieniemy doesn't get a job, I have to hear about him in 1991.
Right, which tells you all you need to know, right? We somehow know about what Eric Bieniemy did as a young man in college, and yet we don't know anything about these other coaches. So that already tells you there's some dog whistle. That's a dog whistle to me.
Amen.
And so I just don't understand why we are continuously holding that against people, as if people aren't allowed to hold themselves accountable and be better. You know what I'm saying? If this was something that was more recent, that's a conversation we need to have, but it's not. And quite frankly, if we start going down the list of things that people have done in their 20s, 30s, whatever, it's going to be it's going to be a long day. Trust and believe. Because it's a lot of people out here that have some things in their past that I'm sure that they would love to look beyond. And they have the privilege to do that because nobody's bringing up their past too, by the way, Michael. So there's that part of it. That just goes to show you, to me, it just feels like everyone is coming up with all these reasons to not hire somebody. And does he intimidate you? What is it about Eric Bieniemy that makes you feel like he is not a good head coach candidate? He comes from a winning program. He comes from an organization that in the last few years have done nothing but dominate their conference and won 2 out of their 3 Super Bowl appearances. I am definitely taking the chance on that. I don't care. He might not be the best interviewer. Okay. I was not the best tester. Didn't mean I wasn't smart. Okay, I was smart. Sometimes the test used to make me nervous. You know what I'm saying? And so I ain't do that I could do. But let me tell you something. Anything else, that classwork, them quizzes, I I aced all of that. So I don't know why we think that everyone is good at everything all the time. Some people just don't translate that well. But the body of work and what you know that he comes from should also speak for itself. Similar to how we talk about players in combine. Okay, yeah, all of that other stuff is nice. What we see, what they do at these combines is nice. But what does the film say? What does the film tell you? And to me, that's the most important thing. And we just have to get past. Somehow the league has have to find a way to get past this and get guys like Eric Bieniemy jobs. Head coaching jobs, because it's really important if they really care about diversity as they say that they do.
Reeta, it takes all of us. It takes all of us, Reeta, in racism. Okay.
Is that on the back of your hat?
That's right. It's on the back of my chair. It's on the back of my chair right now. You know,
that was my favorite thing on the Super Bowl, by the way. That was a favorite thing at the Super Bowl, by the way. Philadelphia Eagles in racism. The back of the end zone.
Yeah, I change it up every week. Every week I have a new phrase sponsored by the National Football League. That is the leader. That is the leader in all these fairness/diversity issues. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, because we've heard a lot about the contract and what will happen. I'm getting to the point of, okay, let's say they move on from Lamar Jackson. Next franchise. What's a franchise where you could look at it and see Lamar Jackson as a perfect fit? I see one. I got one. It's in the AFC.
Oh, no, man. Well, that's not going to work.
No, it has to, because it has to. You've got to come up with the best deal. You got to go to the most desperate team, and you got to make a deal with the most desperate team, whether they're in your conference or not. Because if you're afraid of trading Lamar Jackson in your conference, well, that tells me maybe you need to sit down and add some more zeros to a contract and add some more guarantees to his contract. If you're that afraid of him, well, then you probably should keep him, right?
Valid.
So, but tell me a team, because you go first. I'm going to tell you a team where Lamar Jackson, I can't believe it, hiding in plain sight, where Lamar Jackson would be a perfect fit. What do you think?
I mean, I do think that the Falcons will be good. I like Drake London. They got Kyle Pitts, which, you know, he's had a great rapport with Mark Andrews in Baltimore. That defense to me isn't as they need to be improving, of course, but they do have a run game. They do have a tight end, and they do have a wide receiver that, although is very young because Drake London just came out, I think that he has the potential to be a really good wide receiver. I obviously they would have to find a way to buster up that offensive line, but the Falcons have a top 10 pick, which is something that you're going to need if you're going to try to trade with the Ravens. It takes them out of the conference. I do think that they have they're probably pushing a little bit in terms of getting a quarterback. And of course, they could draft one, of course. They're in a position to do that. But would you rather draft a guy with uncertainties? Because you have to assume that C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young are going to be gone by the time that the Falcons get there. So do you want to take your chance with a Will Levis? Do you want to take your chance with an Anthony Richardson? Or do you want to get a guy like Lamar where you already can scout him? You already know what he's about. He's shown you he's a unanimous MVP, and you know his caliber of play. So, I mean, I think that makes the sense. If you're going to tell me the Colts,
no, I'm not.
Okay, all right. Okay, but I am interested in knowing who exactly you believe in the AFC.
All right, this is what I do. Reeta, you know, this is what we do, because we're in this business, right? We've been in this business for a while, and part of this business is talking to people, but not just talking to people, listening to them. You gotta listen to people, listen to what they say, listen to the urgency with which they speak, and how they tell you what they need. This is good. This is why I'm a good husband, Reeta, because I listen. Oh, what do you need? What do you need me to do? You need me to do be better? Okay, I got you. So I've listened to you. I'm a good husband, New York Jets. I've listened to you. I've listened to your owner come out, not even be coy. Your owner has told the world that we're a quarterback away. We got to get a quarterback. Desperate. Your owner thinks that everything else on the roster is all set, that you're a quarterback away from getting back to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 60s. I'm not hating. Anyway.
And Joe Douglas, Their GM, Joe Douglas, was a former Ravens executive. So, I mean, it does.
Hey, listen. Think about it. You get a vet, you get both. You get a young quarterback, but also a veteran. Lamar's not in his second year. Lamar's been through something. He's got an MVP. He's a dynamic player. You think New York City would love watching Lamar Jackson do his thing 8 times a year in the regular season in New York? And then you got a number 1 receiver there, the offensive rookie of the year, and Garrett Wilson. You got a lockdown corner and Sauce Gardner, really good defense.
Come up off of one of them. One of them got to come to Baltimore. I don't know if it's Sauce. I don't know if it's Garrett, but you can't have them both. Somebody has got to come
along.
We'll
give you some picks. Straight. No, we'll give you picks. We'll give you our picks. We'll give you our picks. We'll give you a first rounder. No, we're gonna give you. We'll give you some players. It won't be Sauce. I mean, we'll give you a player. We'll give you some nice. I mean, a nice player. It'll be equivalent to the Seahawks trade with Denver. Like Denver gave them some players who were solid, but no superstars.
Yeah,
the superstar. Reeta, the superstar in the trade. The superstar in the trade is the draft picks.
No,
I'm gonna give you a couple first rounders.
Yeah, you can get. I want a couple first rounders, and I want a player. I want Russell Wilson, as great as he has had in a career, right? Is on the other side as Lamar is reaching his top. Okay, he's reaching the top. So it worked for the Broncos because Russell Wilson has, he's older. He's an older quarterback. He's been in the league 10+ years. So I believe that what they got for him is fair. Okay. I do not believe that just 2 first rounds. You're going to have to come up off somebody. It ain't. Look, nobody said it was going to be easy. If you really want them, you're going to have to do what you do.
Okay. We'll talk. We'll talk about it. I just want to say that, okay, if the Jets keep talking about this quarterback situation, why waste your time with Aaron Rodgers, maybe the last year or 2 of his career? Why are you looking at Derek Carr, who will kind of be an upgrade for you, but a slight upgrade? Yeah. You want something dramatic. You represent New York City. Come on, we need something big, something outstanding. Reeta, you're a big deal. You're outstanding. We will give 3 or 4 first-round picks for you. Always enjoy talking with you, Reeta.
Thank you so much for having me, per usual.
Appreciate you. We'll see you soon.
All right, guys.
But Sauce, Sauce is not going to Baltimore. Garrett Wilson's not going to Baltimore. Not happening.
Then we're going to have to figure out something else, friend. Something else got to happen.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.